As we begin a new week, the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF, is meeting to ponder on the same old question. Should Pakistan be blacklisted for terror financing? You see, Pakistan is a terror state, and we know that. Pakistan sponsors terrorists, and the world knows that. But it hasn't done anything about it. Pakistan was grey-listed by the FATF in 2018, the Financial Action Task Force, which is a global terror financing watchdog. Now we're in the middle of 2021. And in these 3 years, Islamabad has barely moved the needle on ending the flow of funds to terrorists. And the FATF is still dragging its feet. It has not blacklisted Pakistan, even though terrorists continue to operate there with impunity on Pakistani soil. So will the FATF blacklist Pakistan this time? Before they make their decision, they should watch this story. Tonight, we'll give you some very compelling reasons on why Pakistan should be blacklisted, some statements that expose Pakistan further. And these statements come straight from the horse's mouth. Two top leaders, Prime Minister Imran Khan and Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi of Pakistan, have revealed the true face of their country. Its hypocrisy on terrorism and its tacit backing of terrorists. Take the case of Osama bin Laden. Pakistan gave him shelter while taking American money to fight him. And 10 years since his killing, the Pakistani government won't even call him a terrorist. In their eyes, Osama bin Laden is a martyr. And I'm not the one saying it. Shah Mahmood Qureshi is the foreign minister of Pakistan. Listen to this.
Is he a martyr? You disagree? Osama bin Laden?
I will let that pass.
Let that pass. What does that even mean? And why wouldn't Qureshi call Osama bin Laden a terrorist? Because it flows from the top, you see. Last year, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan called Osama bin Laden a martyr. And this was not a campaign speech. It happened right inside the Pakistani parliament.
Osama bin Laden को इन्होंने अमेरिकन ने आके एबटाबाद में मार दिया, शहीद कर दिया. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Osama bin Laden को इन्होंने अमेरिकन ने आके एबटाबाद में मार दिया, शहीद कर दिया. उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
Members of the Pakistani government said nothing then. Why would they question their captain now? Osama bin Laden died more than a decade ago. But there is no change in Pakistan's policy on terrorists. It remains to this day a state sponsor of terrorists. In fact, in Afghanistan, Pakistan is playing a key role in bringing terrorists back to the mainstream. In an interview over the weekend, Imran Khan was asked about Afghanistan. He said there should be a settlement before America leaves. It should be a political settlement, one that involves the Taliban and the civilian government. Imran Khan said there is no other solution. And now we've known this for a while. What Pakistan has been up to behind the scenes, it has been steadily supporting the Taliban in taking control of dozens of districts by force. Since the month of May, when American forces began to leave, the Taliban has taken control of 50 districts. How did they do it? Thanks to local influence, military offensives, and government retreats. Violent attacks continue across the country, and Pakistan is defending all of this. Last week, Shah Mahmood Qureshi came to the Taliban's defense. In fact, when asked about the growing violence, Qureshi said blaming the Taliban for the escalation would be quote-unquote an exaggeration.
But the violence is very high, and they're taking.
Who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for that? You think now again, if you try and create this impression that the violence is high because of Taliban. Let me just finish. The violence is high because of Taliban. Again, that would be an exaggeration.
Now, allow me to show you what exaggeration really means. In that same interview, as he was trying to deflect blame from the Taliban, Qureshi accused India of quote-unquote carrying out terrorist activities from Afghanistan.
Obviously, you have sovereign relations and you have bilateral relations and you have every right to have sovereign and bilateral relations with India. You trade with India, they come and carry out development work there. That's fine, that's completely fine with us. But at times we feel that their presence is perhaps larger than it ought to be, because they're not, they don't share a border with you.
Does it bother you that they have?
If they use your soil against us, it bothers me.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
How?
How? By carrying out terrorist activities.
That was Pakistan's foreign minister pushing conspiracy theories about India just to take the world's attention away from the activities that it is conducting with the Taliban. In 1 week, Pakistan's top leaders have struck 2 own goals with 2 interviews. But the embarrassment does not stop there. Pakistan's Prime Minister has repeatedly declared himself the defender of the rights of Muslims worldwide. But when asked about Uyghur Muslims of China, he has always come up short. In one interview, he said he did not know about them. In another interview, he said he won't talk about them. The hypocrisy was exposed yet again in his latest interview. And let me read out that exchange for you. The reporter begins by asking, just across your border in Western China, the Chinese government has imprisoned 1 million Uyghur Muslims in re-education camps. The Chinese government has tortured Muslims, forcibly sterilized them, and they have destroyed mosques in Xinjiang. They've also punished Muslims for fasting, praying, even giving Muslim names to their children. This is the reporter asking. Why are you outspoken about Islamophobia in Europe and the United States, but totally silent about the genocide of Muslims in Western China? What do you think Imran Khan's response was? Let me quote it word for word. Whatever issues we have with the Chinese, we speak to them behind closed doors. China has been one of the greatest friends to us. In our most difficult times, China came to the rescue when our economy was struggling. Basically, we cannot say much because the Chinese give us money. When asked if it makes him feel sick that he must remain silent, Imran Khan replied, and I'm quoting again, I look around the world, what's happening in Palestine, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Afghanistan. Am I going to start talking about everything? Well, he shouldn't. What do we do? What do we say to Pakistan's leaders who keep shoving their foot in their mouth? Speech is silver, silence, they say, is gold. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.